Okay, so this video is on our rule for simplifying negative exponents. So first, before we get started, in our regular exponents, we know that, let's say we had 2 squared. We know that if we want to simplify 2 squared, we just say, well, what is 2 times 2? Well, it's 4. Well, when we have a negative exponent, we have to do something a little differently. So the rule says if we have a base to the negative exponent, then we are to write it into a fraction with 1 in the numerator, then the base to the positive exponent. So let's say that we had 2 to the negative 2. Well, now to simplify this, we have to turn it into the fraction. 1 over 2 to the positive 2. So that is 1/4. Okay, so the rule for x to a negative exponent is we put it into a fraction with 1 in the numerator, the base to the positive exponent. Okay, so let's look at a couple more examples before we go into a lot of detail. So here we have simplify 3 squared. Well, 3 squared is 3 times 3. So 3 squared simplified is 9. Well, here we have simplify 3 to the negative 2. So the rule says that we have to change it into a fraction with 1 in the numerator, 3 to the positive 2. So now we have 1 over 9. So 3 to the negative 2 simplified would be 1 over 9. So let's go through some examples. Alright, our first example says 4 times x times y to the negative 2. Now it's important to realize that the negative 2 exponent has the base y. Okay, so this is the one that we're going to simplify using the 1 over y squared. So we have 4x. That didn't change. Okay, we're multiplying, so it's multiplied by 1 over y squared. Okay, and do remember that this is 4x over 1. So now we just follow our rules of multiplying fractions. 4x times 1 is equal to 4x, and 1 times y squared is y squared. So 4 times xy to the negative 2 simplified is 4x over y squared. All right, our next example, we have 2 times x to the negative 4th. All right, remember that our base for that negative exponent is an x. Okay, so what we have is 2 times 1 over x to the 4th. Again, follow your rules for multiplying fractions. This is 2 over 1. So 2 times 1 is 2, and 1 times x to the 4th is x to the 4th. So 2 times x to the negative 4 simplified is 2 over x to the 4th. Alright, our next example, now we have a fraction, and we have 2 divided by x to the negative 3. Okay, so this is what we need to simplify by using our rule. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite this fraction horizontally. I have 2 divided by x to the negative 3. Hopefully this will let you see a little better that we're going to be simplifying our x to the negative 3. Okay, so again, this is basically 2 over 1, okay, divided by 1 over x to the 3. Okay, now notice we have 2 fractions that are being divided, so we have to follow our division rules for dividing fractions, in which we multiply and inverse that second fraction. So now we have 2 over 1 times, and now we flip it, x over 3 over 1. Now we have 2 fractions that we're multiplying. We follow the rules for multiplying fractions. 2 times x cubed is 2x cubed, and 1 times 1 is 1, so I'm not going to write that. So 2 divided by x to the negative 3 simplified is 2 times x cubed. All right. Our final example is 3a divided by y to the negative 6. So again, I'm just going to write it horizontally so we can get a little better picture of what we're simplifying. So we have 3a divided by y to the negative 6. So I'm going to use my rule to simplify y to the negative 6. So I have 3a divided by 1 over y to the 6th. And do remember that this is 3a over 1. So now, again, we're going to use our rules for dividing fractions. So this becomes 3a over 1 times y to the 6th over 1. 3a times y to the 6th is 3a y to the 6th. 1 times 1 is 1, so I'm not going to write that. So 3a divided by y to the negative 6 simplified is 3 times a to y to the negative 6.